Your third step to reach your financial prosperity goals. Would keeping your specific methods and their extremely profitable nature private from those who would otherwise rob or scorn you help you reach your financial prosperity goals? As soon as you have developed your personal strategy, legally organized your business with your state, and established your non-private business bank account, your third step is to begin enhancing your privacy and security. Whether or not you are accustomed to paying state income tax, the second thing you must do to ease income tax burden lawfully is arrange for the legal and lawful means to generate as much state and federal income tax-free revenue as possible by obtaining membership in at least one private, lawfully income tax-free organization. Appearance of agency. How important is appearance? Appearance is everything. However, appearance as it is explained here is not about showing off to family, friends, and neighbors. It is about not looking guilty. Specifically, not appearing to have any liability or obligation not established by the actual language of the law. Preventing the wrong appearance is essential to enhancing your privacy and security, and is accomplished by virtuously exercising your basic constitutional and lawful rights to privacy, contract, and agency. By virtuously exercising your basic constitutional and lawful rights to privacy, you prevent both the possible appearance and the related presumptions that you are liable for more tax than the actual language of the law requires of you, and that your lawful conduct is unlawful or even illegal. Furthermore, by virtuously exercising your basic constitutional and lawful rights to contract, you prevent both the possible appearance and the related presumptions that your earnings may be diminished through tax withholdings in spite of the actual language of the law, and that you have no recourse. Still further, by virtuously exercising your basic constitutional and lawful rights to agency, you prevent both the possible appearance and the related presumption that you are liable for income tax on all of the earnings you generate in spite of the actual language of the law. Moreover, by virtuously exercising your basic constitutional and lawful rights to privacy, contract, and agency by means of membership in at least one private, lawfully income tax-free organization, you prevent both the possible appearance and the related presumptions that, together, effectively act as an open invitation for others to steal from you, either directly by means of larceny or indirectly by means of extortion and fraud. What is agency exactly? Of the three concepts, the right to agency may seem unfamiliar to some, though it is the most important of the three for preventing the wrong appearance. An agent acts in behalf of a principal. Merriam-Webster defines agency as one through which something is accomplished, instrumentality, the office or function of an agent, an establishment doing business for another, and an administrative division, as of a government. And it defines principal as the person from whom an agent's authority derives. For example, the IRS and its employees are agents or agencies of a principal, the U.S. Department of the Treasury, in the same way that a pharmaceutical representative is an agent of a principal that is a pharmaceutical company, or a person who delivers newspapers is an agent of the principal that is the news company. What are the benefits of agency? The existence of agent-principal or agency-principal relationships, along with relationship details and even the very identity of either or both parties to such relationships, may or may not be fully disclosed to others, since disclosure of such information is often not required for the completion of business transactions. For example, in the case of an IRS employee, while you may not know the true name or pay grade of the employee, you know the employee as a representing agent and you know the principal as the IRS, or the Treasury Department. And in the case of the Kirby vacuum cleaner salesperson, while you may not know the salesperson's commission rate, or whether commissions are paid on contract or through wages, and you may not know the name of the principal, the local Kirby franchise owner, You know the salesperson is an agent representing Kirby Company. By obtaining membership in at least one private lawfully income tax-free organization, you establish at least one private agent principal or agency principal relationship and may act as agent in behalf of each principal without disclosing to anyone the parties, the details, and or even the existence of each relationship. What does it take to obtain such a membership? Business entities and structures with no income tax consequences to the individual can cost tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to organize. However, your purchase of this course has opened the door for you to organize or purchase either a new or an existing entity or structure for a fraction of the typical cost, and or to obtain private membership in at least one other existing entity or structure for an even smaller cost. What does exercise of agency through such private membership accomplish? As mentioned in the first session, individuals in the U.S. Congress and most of the state Congresses have enacted nearly innumerable laws to create the appearance of an obligation to pay taxes relative to earnings, and yet all three branches of the U.S. government publish the fact that you can lawfully avoid even taxes that are required by the actual language of the law by simply arranging your affairs properly. It is accordingly necessary to incorporate or organize a business and then obtain membership in at least one private lawfully income tax-free organization for the purpose of lawfully operating without an appearance of any liability for any tax that is not established by the actual language of the various applicable state and federal laws. There is a third synergy between organizing a business and obtaining membership in at least one private lawfully income tax-free organization, in that your foundation for financial prosperity is reinforced and your wealth generating power is unrestricted by operating properly by means of both organizations. Why must you obtain membership in at least one private lawfully income tax-free organization? By obtaining two private memberships, you further enhance your security. To prevent indirect theft through extortion and fraud, use your membership in one private organization that pays no income tax but voluntarily files federal income tax returns for business purposes, for example, contracting, generating revenue as agent in the name of the private organization, and writing and depositing checks from your company to the private organization. To prevent direct theft or larceny, use your membership in the other private organization that pays no income tax and may or may not voluntarily file federal income tax returns for asset management. For example, purchasing and holding personal and real property such as home furnishings, electronics and appliances, cars, trucks, boats, and recreational vehicles, and even land and homes. How does an agent operate? Operating properly as an agent is a matter of acting with integrity. A principal authorizes an agent to represent the principal and to act in behalf of the principal with the principal's best interests in mind. It is only appropriate for the agent to be keenly interested in the welfare of both the principal and the agent, and to that end, to carry out the responsibilities of agency with utmost integrity, confident in the resulting benefits to both the principal and the agent. Just as the agent rightly expects to be rewarded for benefiting the principal, you rightly should expect rewards for the integrity of your agency. Now that you know the facts, though, why not just stop paying taxes? Unless you are a very young person who has not yet begun working, receiving annual reports of earnings, copies of which are also received by the IRS, and signing and submitting income tax forms based on such annual reports of earnings, until now you have been inadvertently maintaining an appearance that you are liable for various taxes, whether or not the actual language of the law establishes liability for such taxes. Can this appearance be changed? It is not possible to change this appearance or to stop maintaining this appearance without first making it legally possible to operate in a way that does not support this appearance. In other words, until now, you have been generating all of your revenue in ways that are taxable to you. And it is impossible for you to generate revenue that is not taxable to you unless you arrange to generate tax-free revenue. Accordingly, you must deliberately, legally, and lawfully generate revenue that by law is not taxed. Otherwise, you will simply continue contributing to the appearance that you created when you first volunteered to sign and submit a federal income tax form. That is, the appearance that you are liable for various taxes for which the actual language of the law does not make you liable. Email your first name, state, phone number, and the best time to reach you with assistance in regard to either purchasing a private, lawfully income tax-free organization and or obtaining private membership in at least one private, lawfully income tax-free organization.